And we are live. Unfortunately, my internet is really sketchy this morning. Plus, I have to get outdoors and clean up a few things. County code enforcement is being extra super picky this year. And I do have clutter in my driveway. I just never got finished with cleaning out the sheds. Hi, Jason. Good morning. Never finished cleaning the shed, so I'm just going to have to shove everything back in there to make code enforcement happy. So I can't stay on long this morning. And besides, my internet connection is sketchy. Well, welcome in, Feral Pinto. Good to see people coming in. I made the rice pilaf and chicken with sweet and sour sauce on my cooking channel the other day. I need to learn how to edit and stuff like that because I left out the part where I ate it. It was good. But now I have to clean the stovetop. It needed cleaning before I did the video, but I've just decided I'd better get a video up there. I've been neglecting the cooking channel. Meanwhile, I have all kinds of clutter to deal with outdoors. And cats to feed and pet and spoil rotten. And they own the place. This is their house and their yard, and they get upset when I mess with it. Oh well. So anyway, yeah, the cleanup is a pain. I don't mind doing dishes. I don't even have a dishwasher. I wash them by hand, and I kind of like it. You know, all that stuff you can't get out from under your fingernails? Wash the dishes, it'll come out. Of course, then you have to change water frequently, so the dishes also come clean. In some cases, I rinse with boiling hot water just to make sure the pots and pans in particular will build up grease that just won't come off in the wash. So I put in some boiling water to help get the grease out, cooking oil or oil that's in the food you cook. Last month, I had burned the bottoms of a couple of soup pots. So I put them outside. Between the sunlight, the wind, the weather, and probably some critters, a spray that's made for removing tough stains because they're steel pans. It isn't going to hurt them. And they came out pretty well, but of course they'll need a lot of washing and rinsing with boiling water just in case there's critter spit. So I'll rinse them first, then wash them, then rinse them again. I'm going to make jam. I used to make tons of jam. But now because of my bad back, I have trouble standing there stirring the pot for 6 minutes without stopping, without walking away. I got the kind of pectin that does not require any sugar, but I'm not that strict. I use about half the sugar that the jam usually gets. And it still tastes good. It tastes sweet, but it isn't so full of sugar. Now, when I was a child, I would eat a spoon of sugar right all by itself, right out of the sugar bowl. But now, I like sweet things, but not as much. I use less sugar. Well, hi, Freeman. Welcome in. I'm just nattering. Nothing important, except that we need. Stupid phone. Stop it. We need to pray for the future of this country and our lives in this country. Got an appointment. Well, I can't stay online very long either, Freeman. That little icon is hiding half your post again. There we go. I have to clean up the yard. I've got someone coming to haul things away, so I need to select which things go to the dump. And it's like getting down to the wire because of county code enforcement. In June, they just warned me, notified me. This time they actually cited me, and if they come and clean up my yard, they'll charge me something like $1,200, which I don't have. That would be about 3 months of house payments because my house is cheap. So I don't really complain that it's only 400 square feet. The heart icon, Freeman, where you can put hearts into the chat like that, it's right over the bottom post in the chat. So anyway, I gotta get it cleaned up. It's supposed to be cool this weekend, and I think it will be. I'm wearing a sweater because it's chilly. I'm not firing up the heater till I have to. The price of gas suddenly doubled in sunny Southern California. And I'm on a mountain. It does snow, so I need to save the heating until I really need it. All right. I gotta scroll up again. My yard? Well, I was pulling stuff out of my shed so I could clean out the dirt and stuff that blew in after the wind blew the door off the shed. I actually started right before Snowmageddon, and a lot of things got destroyed because they were up on pallets and tarped, but a lot of things got ruined anyway, being buried under 6 feet of snow. Fortunately, nothing terribly expensive or important. But, it has to go back in. And I'm slow. I'm 70 years old with a bad back, and I'm slow. And then this summer, when I was doing trying to do most of the work, it was too hot. I can't do much outdoor work when it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, they want us to give up natural gas. It happens to be the cleanest fuel we have, and unlike solar panels and windmills, it doesn't kill the birds. And it doesn't add heat to the environment the way solar panels do. I'm really worried about the future of this nation. And I want you all to vote, but I also want you all to do your research and really listen to all the various opinions on the media and do your fact checking. Don't just believe what they say. Check it out. Although some of these talk shows, I can't stand them. I want to barf. Hi, Wita. Okay, I'm limiting this to about half an hour, and we're 12 minutes in, so if you got something on your mind, bring it up now. Freeman's reactor is online, sensors online, weapons online, all systems nominal. I'd rather have all systems go, but nominal is okay. Anyway, it's chilly this morning, but that's good for working outdoors. And the critters knocked over the trash barrel again, so I have to pick that up. Jeez. Oh well. But mostly things that are actually too heavy for me to deal with are waiting for someone to haul them away. They would have been fine in a normal snowstorm, but it was 6 feet of snow. Between the weight of the snow and the moisture getting into everything when it melted, things got ruined. Well, frankly, let's see. Kamala wants price controls. That didn't work for Richard Nixon. It didn't work for Nikita Khrushchev. It didn't work for what's his name in Venezuela. It won't work for us. And what else does she want? She hasn't said much about her policies. Well, I took a chance on the Orange Man before. And since the whole thing is the primaries are so rigged, that's what our choice. You know, her mother was 100% Hindu, her father was half Hindu and half Irish. People assumed that that was a euphemism for a certain skin color. It isn't. His Irish ancestors moved to Jamaica when the United Kingdom outlawed slavery because they wanted to keep their slaves. Hi, Ditch. Good, welcome in and good morning. Orange Man, yeah, he's got flaws. He speaks what's on his mind and he's unfiltered, and people don't get his jokes. Oh, welcome in, Pio. Um, like when the reporter asked him, "Will you be a dictator?" He quipped, "Only on the first day." It was a joke, but they didn't take it as a joke. He needs to be more serious. And yeah, I've got problems with Trump, but I think someone's here. Let me check real quick. Nope. No, it's the tree warriors who are taking down some dead trees down the street. Not for me, although I wish I could get a certain tree removed. The FEMA grant people claim they're going to remove it, but it might be 2 years before they get around to doing that. On the other hand, it's free. Yeah, he needs a filter. Kamala needs to tell us what her policies will be. I really don't have much of a clue except she wants price controls. Oh, and amnesty for certain newcomers. This community here, she wants to limit the price of food and set up a new government body to control the price of food. That didn't work for Richard Nixon. It didn't work for the Soviet Union or Venezuela or Cuba. It just creates shortages and black markets. Yes, the old man cat has been coming in for breakfast every day, Freeman. Well, food is as much as twice what it used to be. And being old, I remember the 1960s. I could get a New York strip steak, a 1 pound steak for $1. There's a lot of hype around the New York strip. It really isn't that good a steak. We called it a club steak, and some people call it Delmonico. But it isn't very tender. It has good flavor, not enough fat for my taste. But now, the other day, I bought a pound of hamburger, and it was over $6. I think it was like $6.19 a pound. Hamburger. In the 60s, when I was a teenager, I could, do a few odd jobs and earn $1. They usually paid us with soda pop bottles. You take them back to the store to get your deposit, and I'd get $1 that way and buy myself a steak. Now, forget it. Just 4 years ago, I had a lot less income than I do now, but I could buy more with it than I can buy now. Oh, yeah, that's the other policy Kamala talked about, giving first-time home buyers $25,000 for their down payment. Where's she gonna get that money? We're already in terrible debt. The stock market is about to tumble. I don't get it. Oh, well. Let's see, I'm at 22 minutes, and I said I'd go for only half an hour. But whoever you're going to vote for, get out and vote. But do your research. Well, I kind of think that a businessman isn't going to try to destroy business. It hurt him personally. But I wish we had more choices instead of whoever the party selects. Okay. Do you know that at one time Donald Trump was bankrupt? He was in debt for, I think it was something like $16 billion. But he overcame it somehow. Thing is, these rags to riches stories are mostly false. Like Bill Gates starting to make computers in his parents' garage. Well, his parents were wealthy. He didn't have to worry about food, clothing, and shelter. He didn't have to get a job. He could just sit in the garage all day making computers. People who have to work for a living don't have the time and energy to do these things and build successful businesses. Yeah, the crash of 2008, for me, it started in 2007. It was like prices soared, salaries and wages did not, and people had to refinance their homes just to keep a car to drive to work and put some food on the table. and then they couldn't make the payments. So these big conglomerates bought up all the housing and sold it for, they held on to it for a few years, vacant, unoccupied, and then sold it for twice or three times even what they paid for it. And it's even worse when they rent them. It's like they don't want people to own homes. They might have some self-respect and an interest in what happens to our economy. Oh yeah, and why are all the newcomers being settled in poor minority communities? Why can't they live at somebody's mansion in Hawaii, or I'm blanking on that place where they shipped them out the next day, where all those rich people have their mansion in a private community, and DeSantis flew 50 migrants there to their little island. Well, I'm tired of pointing out we are a republic, not a democracy. In a republic, no one is above the law. In a democracy, the law is whatever the majority says it is, and they can change their minds 3 or 4 times a day. I could probably refinance my house at a lower interest rate, but let's see, Medicare would say, oh, you have money, pay us $300 a month every month. And Medi-Cal, or Medicaid, if you're not in California, would say, you have too much money, we won't help you anymore. And it would be a wash. I'd come out zero, except that I would owe a lot more money on my house. And I'd have probably half the income I have now, because I'd have to pay taxes on the money I got out of my home. And I'd probably end up on the street. I don't even have a car to live in. Yeah, Martha's Vineyard. Thank you, Freeman. Yeah, I can't afford to move. I do have a tent just in case, but what would happen to these cats if I lost this house? They're all fixed. They won't make babies, but they aren't going to die anytime soon. They're young. Yeah. Well, the county here has a program where they send out sheriff's deputies and social workers to the homeless camps. And they try to get people into homes or treatment or whatever they need, but if they refuse, they don't force them. So there are a few people in tents in the forest. But really, we are not having a problem with them here, except once in a while they'll break into a building in the winter to get out of the snow, and they cause damage. But they usually don't steal things. They just break in the door or the window. Our churches have tried, providing a place for them to sleep, but they make such a mess. They've basically vandalized the church, so they can't do that unless there's someone there to keep order. I'm at the half-hour mark. How do I take 5 cats anywhere, especially without a car? I don't want a truck. I want an SUV, Freeman. I don't want to drive a truck. I lived in my car for 2 years while working 2 jobs back in the place. The stream is brief because I have to get out and do some yard cleanup, and I have a guy coming to haul away junk, so I have to decide what goes to dump. Plus, code enforcement, the county code enforcement has ordered me to get the clutter out of my driveway. And most of it is keepers. Now, every week I've been putting out bags of trash that used to be stuff in the shed before Snowmageddon ruined it. So like I gotta get it done by their deadline, or they'll clean it up. They'll throw out stuff that isn't trash, and they'll charge me $1,200. Well, I can take Tora, that's for sure. The others are not easy to catch. Tora and Smokey are tame. The others are all feral. They run away from me. They come in to eat, but they are not pets. They're wild. Yeah, they create an economy where ordinary people can't keep a roof over their heads, and then they make it a criminal offense to be homeless. It sucks. At least when I was living in my car, I had keys to the office where I worked and the restroom at the office where I worked. But I did scrape up enough to get a bath and stuff like that. But I had to be careful about sleeping in the car. I'd park at the office in the carport, but it wasn't legal in Orange County, California. So some people complained, and the police came to check me out. But fortunately, I was awake and reading the Thomas Guide, the map book, with the dome light on, so they didn't bother me. Aw, your neighbor's cat ran away because he wants to live at a restaurant? I don't blame him. Restaurants have good food. Don't bother me. I'm way over the half hour and I really gotta go, but I didn't want to let you guys down. See, it's gonna get hot in the afternoon, so I have to work in the morning. They're taking down more dead trees. Edison Company. We have crazy environmental things going on. It's hard to get a permit to take down a tree, But Edison Company can say, oh, it's a hazard. It might hit the electrical wires and cause a disaster. And they get past all the environmental stuff and they cut down the trees. Of course, they have a government grant to do it. Well, thank you all for coming, and remember to keep praying for Freeman. Oh, and have a great day too. Pray for Freeman to get his shoulder problem resolved. It sucks to be in pain all the time. So I shall see you guys, I don't know, next Thursday morning for sure, and maybe a night this weekend if I can stay awake. I've been falling asleep very early. So guys, thank you all for coming in and chatting with me, and I'll see you again.